Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to add live webinar meeting registrant on Gravity form submission. So here, as a business consultant and coach, I am regularly conducting various webinars for my clients, individuals and multiple businesses. And I am using live webinar to manage these webinars and the users. Now, for taking the registrations for these webinars, I am using Gravity forms on my website. And my objective is that as soon as on my website, the form is going to be submitted by an interested student or client, automatically that person should be added as a registrant in live webinar for that same webinar. Now, to automate this entire process, I will have to build a connection between Gravity forms and live webinar, and that I am going to do without any coding and programming skills, simply with the help of Pabbly Connect. So for your business, if you also want to learn this amazing automation step by step, for that you have to come towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen everyone. In this video, we are going to learn step by step that how we can automatically create registrants in live webinar for Gravity form submission. So here, as a business consultant and coach, I am using live webinar to manage all the webinars that I am conducting on regular basis, and I'm also managing the registrants over here. Now, for taking the registrations of these webinars, I am using Gravity forms on my website. So I have created a specific registration form. So by using this form, I want to collect the registrations for my webinar, and as soon as an interested participant or client is going to visit my website, they're going to enter the details in these fields. Automatically, I want that person to be added as a registrant in my webinar inside live webinar. To automate the process, we have to build the connection, as I told you, between Gravity forms and live webinar. And to build this connection, we are not going to use any coding or programming skills. We will simply create this connection with the help of Pabbly Connect. So let's get started quickly. We are on the home page of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach by tapping this URL pabbly.com/connect/INR in our browser. After coming over here, we will find two options: sign in and sign up for free. So in case if you are already an existing user, just click on sign in to log into your account. But if you are a new user, you have to click on this sign up for free button. It will help you to create a free new account just in 2 minutes. Also, when you will do that, you're going to receive 100 free tasks every month to explore this amazing software and to test multiple automations. So as an existing user, currently I'm going to click on sign in. This is all apps section where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. To create this automation, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. Now, it has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. On the dashboard, we can find all our workflows which we have created. To save the workflows, we can also create separate folders like this. And now, to create a new workflow, let's click on this Create Workflow option. First of all, a dialog box is appeared in front of us, which is asking us to provide a name to our workflow. So here, I'm going to give a name to this untitled workflow. Add live webinar meeting registrant on Gravity form submission. After giving the name to my workflow, now I'm going to select a folder in which I want to save it. So you can see I have a list of folders over here. Among these folders, the automation which I'm going to create currently is for my webinars and meetings. So I'm going to select the specific folder, automations for webinar meetings, which I have created for that. And now I'm going to click on create. So as we have done that, you can see we are on a new screen. The screen contains two extremely important windows. Basically, this is a blank workflow which we have to fill up successfully in order to complete our automation. So here we have trigger and action. Trigger and actions are the two main concepts, the principles, or we can say these are the building blocks on which the entire automation works. Here the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. That means the action is the response towards our trigger. So whatever we are going to select in our trigger is going to command the entire workflow, and the actions are going to follow that same command. Therefore, we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can add as many action steps as we want. Now let's suppose my objective is that every time I'm going to receive a new form submission in Gravity forms, automatically the person who has submitted that form should be added as a registrant in live webinar. And for that, here I'm going to take Gravity forms and trigger and live webinar in my action step. When we are going to set up the connection between these applications, then we will see that action is going to follow what the trigger commands. Because when the trigger happens, that means when the form will be submitted in Gravity forms, then only the registrant will be added in live webinar, otherwise not. So after understanding the whole concept of trigger and action, let us start creating our automation step by step. First of all, let's go towards our trigger step and let us select Gravity forms as our trigger application. Then we have to select the trigger event, that will be new response. And now we have to build the connection between Gravity Forms and Pabbly Connect. To build this connection, you can see we have received a webhook URL and also we have received some instructions. So basically we have to set up the connection between Gravity Forms and Pabbly Connect with the help of this webhook URL. So we have to insert the webhook URL inside Gravity Forms, and as we will do that, then the webhook URL is going to act as a bridge for transferring the data of every new form which is going to be submitted in Gravity Forms towards Pabbly Connect. And how we are going to do that? By simply following the given instructions. So let's copy the webhook URL, and quickly I'm going to take you towards my Gravity Forms account, because Gravity Form is the plugin of WordPress. So first of all, you have to go towards your WordPress site. You have to install the plugin Gravity Forms over there in WordPress from the plugin section, and then you will be able to access it. I've already done that. So here, this is my Gravity Forms. We'll go towards the forms section. These are all the forms I have created for different requirements. For registration for the webinars and the meetings, I have created this event registration form which I'm going to open, and these are the fields which I have in my form: name, last name, phone number, and the email address. These are the details which I want, so I have entered, so I have selected these fields only, but according to your choice you can add as many fields as you want by using these options and dragging them out in the form. Okay, as my form is created and it is saved already, what we have to do, we have to go towards settings, and over here we have the option of form settings. After coming over here, we have the option of webhooks from the left side. We have to select that, and now here we have to click on this add new webhook button. First of all, you have to provide a name to the webhook, so you can give any name according to your choice. I'm going to keep this name same, but if you want you can also change it. Then we have the request URL. So we have to paste the webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect in this URL field. The request method will be post and the request format will be JSON over here. Then here we have some other details such as request headers, body, etc. I'm going to quickly click on save settings, and as we have done that, the form is connected with Pabbly Connect. So the specific form is connected. Now when this specific form, the registration form, is going to be submitted, we are going to receive the response. As we are waiting for the response over here in Pabbly Connect, let us capture a response by doing a test submission. To do that test submission, we have to submit the form. So once again, I will take you towards my Gravity Forms. Here we have already connected the form with Pabbly Connect. So we have to click on preview. I have opened the form as preview, and now I'm going to submit this form. Because I'm doing a test submission, so I'm going to use dummy details to submit the form. Okay, so let's start with the name. Let's say the name is dummy. Let's say the last name is user. Let's say the phone number is, and let's say the email address of this dummy user is dummyuser616@pabblytudes.com. After entering all these details, quickly I'm going to submit the form. As soon as we have submitted the form, so let's go back towards Pabbly Connect. Let's wait for a few seconds, and you can see that the response is immediately captured. In the response, we have received all the details. So let's start reading them one by one. First of all, you can see that here we have received the email address of the client or the participant. Then we have the phone number. The status is active. When we'll scroll down over here, we have their first name and the last name as well. These details, if you will look closely, are exactly the same which we have entered while submitting the Gravity Forms. This means our connection between Gravity Forms and Pabbly Connect is absolutely successful. And now, every time a form is going to be submitted, which we have connected with Pabbly Connect, then automatically the response is going to be captured. Once we have received the response, now our objective is to create registrant in LiveWebinar. So for that, we have to build the connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect. To do that, let's go towards our action step. Let us select LiveWebinar as our action application. Then we have to select the action event, that will be create webinar registrant. Let's click on connect. Now we have to build the connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect. For that, we have received two options: add new connection and select existing connection. So in case if you already have an existing connection, just quickly go with that. But I'm going to show you that how you have to build a new connection. For that, you can see I'm already logged into my LiveWebinar account, and you also have to do the same. You have to keep logging to the application which you want to connect with Pabbly Connect, because it is going to make your connection process simple and easier. Then we have to click on connect with LiveWebinar. Here the account is detected already as we were already logged in, and now Pabbly Connect is requesting permission to access our LiveWebinar account, and our data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect. So let's click on authorize and provide the permission fearlessly. As we have done that, the authorization has become successful, and quickly the connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect is built. So we have to move forward towards entering the details over here in these fields to create the registrant successfully. For that, first of all, we have to select the webinar in which you want to create the registrant. So the name of my webinar is Mastering Business Automation Strategies for Coaches. So I'm going to select the same. in this particular webinar, I want to add the registrants. You also have to select the webinar in which you want to add the registrants. The registration form ID is already selected over here as we have selected the webinar name. We have to provide the registrant name, their email address and other details. So let's start entering them one by one. We want to add the person who has submitted the gravity forms as registrant. And as you know, we have received all the details of that person already in our earlier response. So instead of entering the data manually over here, we will simply use the same data which we have received in our earlier response. We have to enter the registrant name. We have received the first name over here. I have inserted it like this. I'm going to use a space and now I'm going to insert the last name as well. So I have inserted the full name from the previous step. As I have inserted this name from the previous step, I have mapped this, and when we map our data like this, it becomes dynamic. That means with each and every new response, automatically it is going to replace. So every time a new form is going to be submitted in Gravity Forms, automatically the details which we are going to map in these fields will get replaced. So let's map the email as well in a similar manner, because if we will enter the data manually over here by typing or by copy and pasting, then it will become static and then it is not going to replace every time. Therefore, mapping is very important to automate the process. Then it is asking us send confirmation to registrant's email. So I'm going to select no. Then we have to provide the first name as well. So I've mapped the first name, and we can also search the data like this. If we will enter the keyword, it is going to redirect us. Then we have mapped the last name and the email as well. We will map. So we have mapped all the details, and now let's click on save and send test request button. All these fields are mandatory to be entered. Therefore, I've entered the details double. Okay, so you also have to do the same. Now we have received the response. In the response, we have the ID. That means the registrant is created. So I'm going to take you towards my LiveWebinar account. Here we have the webinar and we have the registered attendees as well. So you can see that here we have the attendee with the same details, dummy user, and we have the email. This means that our connection between Gravity Forms and LiveWebinar is absolutely successful, and now every time the form is going to be submitted, the response will be automatically captured and automatically the person who has submitted the form is going to be added as a registrant over here in LiveWebinar. So I'm going to once again preview the form, and I'm going to once again submit the form to check whether our connection, whether our workflow is running fine or not. So I'm going to use some dummy details once again to submit the form. So let's say this time the name is Smart. Let's say the last name is User. This is the phone number. And this is the email. Let's say smartuser691@pabblytudes.com. I have submitted the form, and now I'm going to take you towards LiveWebinar. Here I'm going to refresh the attendees section in my webinar, and you can see that automatically and instantly, without any manual efforts, here we have created a registrant with the same details. So this means yes, our workflow is running absolutely fine, and we have successfully created our automation, which is going to automate the entire process of adding registrants in LiveWebinar for every Gravity Form submission. In this way, you can manage the registrations of your meeting and webinars effortlessly without any manual efforts. So I hope the automation is clear to you. Also, it is helpful for your business. Thank you for watching.
Not only these applications, but you can integrate multiple such amazing applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can email us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any doubt, you can write us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you want to ask about the pricing, you can visit this website given over here. Do not forget to share our videos, like our video, and also subscribe our channel for more such amazing automations.